right, Shane, it is about 4 o'clock, so that means we are done with our first of a kind, in-person, live stream podcast episode at PWX. What'd you think?
Good job, man. It's
lot of prep.
Probably a lot of stress people don't understand that has to go into doing a live show.
Man.
Especially when you only have about 5 minutes to set up because there's another session before you.
I didn't think it'd be that small of a time. And I felt bad because I was leaning on the next presentation. They're like, hey, guy, can you get your stuff and go? And I'm like, I felt that same way when I was trying to get set up. I'm sorry, sir.
Yeah, it's tough. You want to give everybody their time,
Yeah.
but then
Yeah.
ours takes a little bit more to set up and tear down.
Yeah. The preparation going into it, our plan was to get as many people as possible on the panel because every person that comes up will be their own specific highlight. You took on getting Scott Grayson, which is the CEO, the president of APWA. I found Daniel, who's the president, CEO of the Australian APWA, which is pretty cool to have them on. But the stuff we did leading up to it, I felt like it showed. Yeah, I had a great time doing it. The LinkedIn Live went off great. I'm always conscious about this and that. The audio was out for a little bit, but then once I realized that it was on mute, I clicked it and everything was good to go from there. And it wasn't when we started the actual content, which is cool.
Oh, good. So maybe to frame it up for folks, right? You were running the online.
Yes.
And I was trying to do the logistics for the in-person to get the guests up and on.
Yeah.
And for most shows, you're not rotating guests like that. But,
No.
but we were trying to get a variety, and we did get a variety.
Yeah.
We had, as you say,
wide
the
breadth. Yeah.
we had the APWA US CEO, then we had the international CEO, then we had somebody from Finland on, which was an international player, so that kind of got added in.
Yeah.
And then we had 3 folks here from in the US, all over the US.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we hit California, Houston, Columbus, Washington, D.C. So we pretty much covered coast to coast.
Yeah. And when you look at it in the room, there was a lot of people that I would say knew you or knew me, which is great. It's always good to see those who you're commune with support you in those types of endeavors. I wish the room was a little bit smaller. Room was Swiss cheesy, meaning it was a lot of people spread out. That was probably the only critique on me, as I wish the room was a little bit more intimate, because then that breeds a feeling of, hey, I want to ask a question or I want to be involved, instead of a room where it's so big you can hide out.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say we had the biggest room available. Not to say there weren't other rooms that size, but it's the biggest size, which is great. But our session's happening at the same time as 4 other sessions.
Yeah.
So if it had its own time slot, perhaps it could have been full.
Yeah.
But for the time slot we had with competition, then it would have been better if it was smaller.
That's true. Yeah. But overall, I felt like it went solid. There's probably some tweaks that could have been made to make it flow a little better. I think, if we would have got there like 5 more minutes to set up, I think that would have taken some of the angst off of us. And those little last minute things that you think of to make it run smoother would have been thought of and implemented to make it run smoother. I think I would have told Scott and Daniel and the guy from Finland, hey, when you're done, you can take off. We don't want to hold you hostage. I don't think we got that message across to them, because I felt bad. I don't want to keep them if they're not going to be involved anymore, because they're high status individuals and everybody else too. So a couple of things that could be tweaked for next one. I would really love to do this in Houston. So I think we should talk to the powers that be to see if we can get that done in Houston and blow it up even more and do something to where it's a little bit more prominent instead of just a talk.
Yeah, it's important to see what those, with the number of people participating, it's hard to tell, but what the survey responses come back as.
Yeah.
Because if they're all supportive and we had the CEO in there and everything, he obviously saw the concept, then it could have a real good chance of success of getting picked up again.
Yeah.
If people don't get a lot of response on that, even if you did a good job, people might not, or the agency might not see it as a benefit.
Yeah.
One of the things that would be interesting from somebody that was listening online is how did the audio work for them? Because for those of you who don't know, we had 3 microphones for people in the audience. In live, but then online we had 2 microphones. I'm just curious about how that went.
I think, and I thought of it when the guy was asking, because he had 5 microphones on the table at first, and I said, we'll only need 3. And he says, I see you have your lavalier microphones. How many of those do you have? 1 for each person? You have 3 of them? I said, no, we have 2. And I thought I could have taken the receiver and hooked it up to the soundboard. So the audio from the mic could have went to the room audio, the speakers, plus to the receiver, but the computer would have had to have been somehow connected to it, and that I didn't want to do the gymnastics in my brain to figure that out. With with 18
5
seconds
minute countdown, to figure that out.
Yeah. But I think that could have been another way to capture cleaner audio for the online group. The people that chimed in, once they realized that they could hear it, because it's a little bit of lag, which is good. It's a little bit of lag. Once they could hear it, then I think they were happy and satisfied.
Yeah, there was some logistics for those who weren't in the room. We had our guests sitting down in front, and then we're trying to orchestrate how they come up. And so that's a little bit of a nuance, and then you were doing technical education while I was doing that. Curious how the people thought about that.
I thought the style of that, you interviewed the interviewee, and I did the color commentary on what's happening. I think I could have did better about prefacing that before. Hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to have multiple people come up, and between each speaker, we're going to add value. So think of questions, and then we started getting to the end. And I'm like, okay, we got more talkers. The talking points are ran out, and I think I threw 2 more people at you to hop on, so that's my bad. I don't. Maybe I had over capacity or lineup, because I always like to get people involved. So
yeah, I think if we covered, I guess I have a little different perspective. If we covered what we wanted to get through, just keep cranking people through on the pod.
Yeah.
Spend more time on that.
Yeah.
But and I did move a bunch of slides to the appendix, so to your point,
saw that,
we could have, if you felt strongly about one of those, I guess we could pull those up if we think we can squeeze it in next time.
Yeah.
One thing about time. So we were given a 50-minute session. There are also hour-and-a-half sessions.
No way.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Other
that.
sessions are an hour and a half.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, we could have breathed a little bit more.
Yeah.
For sure. Because I felt like with Scott, David, the Finnish guy, we did enough of Q&A, but I felt like the rest of them got the 2 questions and thanks for coming. It would have been nice to lean on them a little bit more. As I looked out into the crowd, they didn't know that we're going to have interviewees. They thought it was just going to be a talk on how to start a podcast for your specific agency. So maybe some in the crowd only wanted to hear about how to start a show for your agency. And then maybe some people were okay with hearing from Scott, because I'm not sure what their expectations were. I'm sure we'll see that on the review sheet, or if we get 5 stars or 1 star. I think that it's because of the expectations. They didn't know what they're getting into, which, yeah.
Yeah, one of the things that pro and con about keeping those discussions short is maybe you're not giving enough, I don't know if value is the right word, but you're not exposing that person enough to things they might want to talk about. But the flip side is, to your point, if the audience is there to learn and be educated about how to do a podcast in public workspace, they may not really want to hear that story. We're using it as an example of how you can make it happen in
like
exposing
how simplistic
people.
It is, yeah.
Like our friend from Houston, he's never been on a podcast, so he got that experience right there.
Yep.
So that's a benefit.
Could have prefaced that,
Yeah.
Okay. So overall, we'll do it again. Take another stab at it.
Yeah. Let's see if we get selected. It'll be interesting if folks wanted us to dive in. We did have some hallway discussions after where people were really wanting to. Well, that's interesting. I didn't really know that's how it happened, and it's a weird thing to try to talk about what you're doing while you're doing it.
Yeah, that
like
was.
If you want it to seem seamless, like it's all buttoned up, but you also have to explain what you're doing so people know it's not seamless and how. So I probably missed some opportunities there to talk about how some of it went together.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, man, it's been a pleasure. I'm looking forward to doing a lot more content with you and yours on the podcast. So, yeah, looking forward to getting more shows out, and then maybe trying to replicate something like this in Houston and in Arizona. So,
yeah, on the Public Works podcast.
Yeah.
Thanks
As
a lot,
usual.
man.
Yeah.